Hello and welcome to this Visit Scotland panel discussion on how digital technology can help visitor attractions, tours and activity providers reopen safely. I'm your host, Andrew Craig from Visit Scotland, and today we have a variety of well-known booking systems on this online event. You may have seen the news yesterday that Fergus Ewing, Cabinet Secretary for Tourism in Scotland, announced that the Scottish Government has tentatively set July the 15th as a reopening date when tourism businesses may be able to resume operations dependent on public health advice and progression to phase 3 of the lockdown route map. So as Industry Development Manager for Visit Scotland for digital, my question today is how can we use this time to move, this time before July 15th, to move towards reopening safely? And how can we use, moreover, how can we use digital to move towards reopening safely? At the moment, we're in the reset phase of the Scottish Tourism Emergency Response Group's Respond, Reset, Restart and Recover Action Plan. This means that we're now preparing for reopening. This online discussion is part of Visit Scotland's Moment for Change programme of webinars, as you'll see on the screen. These are a series of webinars, discussions, new digital content and advice introduced to help Scottish tourism businesses through the phases of COVID-19 recovery. Sessions like today's are being delivered on topics relating to first-to-return markets, including day trippers, visiting friends and relatives, followed by Scots and UK domestic stays. Secondly, managing the return to business and reopening. That's tools and guidance on how to reopen safely. And thirdly, we'll have a session on wider digital marketing and communication skills for times such as these. Over the next few days, you'll all receive a follow-up email with more details of these sessions, and you can check out our industry website, visitscotland.org. And as I say, we view this time as a moment for change. We won't be able to do business in the same way as before, and safer workplace guidance is due to be published shortly. In my view, one of the major changes required is that tourism businesses, large and small, will need to adopt online booking technology to manage the experience of their visitors. And that's where my guests today fit in. And before I introduce them all, our panelists for today's discussion, there's just a couple of housekeeping tips that I'd like to mention. This session is being recorded, so you'll have the chance to listen again. We have over 150 Scottish businesses, tours, attractions and activity providers here in the call today. And for all of you, there is a PDF handout in the handout section of your GoToWebinar control panel. And this gives some reasoning and background into why we should all be investing our time and efforts into an online booking system, as well as an overview of the 7 booking system guests that we have featured on today's discussion. I should say that these 7 booking systems are not endorsed in any way by Visit Scotland. They're merely displayed as a starting point, and we know that they have Scottish clients and are keen to continue developing relationships in Scotland. There are a multitude of booking systems available to experiences businesses such as your own, and we'd encourage you to carry out some research. On that handout, I've mentioned capterra.com as a good source of booking system reviews and a good place to start your investigative work. Second point I'd like to mention is that you can ask questions of our panelists via the control panel. You'll see a little arrow in your control panel with a questions option, whereby you can click on that and ask some questions. For some of you, I've had a few issues previously on GoToWebinar, the functionality that we use to carry out this event. And we've had a couple of issues with the handouts previously in terms of downloading them. Don't worry about if you can't download it today. I'll ensure that they are distributed via email to all of you after the event, so don't worry about that. Feel free, as I say, feel free to ask questions at any time of the event, and we'll have some time for your attendee questions at the end. You'll see in the little drop down questions, and you can ask questions which I'll then put to our panelists. Questions should be related to today's discussion. If you have any questions for individual booking systems, then you'll find the contact details for each one in the handout that you can either download today or you'll get in the email. I must say the booking system overview in the handout is rather small, but I have made it as a PDF, so you will be able to zoom in to whichever section you wish to focus in on. So without further ado, I'm going to open up my, stop sharing that screen. And open up my webcam so that you can see me. My name is Andrew Craig from Visit Scotland, and on today's call, today's webinar, I'm joined by Matt Edwards from Access UK, David Levine from Bokun, Luke Fletcher from DigiTickets, Chris Richards from Fair Harbour, Andy Povey from Gateway Ticketing, Galen Hawkins from Palacis, and Noemi Aurelia from TrekSoft. And what I've asked each one of them to do is to give a 60-second overview, introductory statement, explaining their background and what the primary focus of their particular booking system is. So I'll ask Matt Edwards from Access UK if he can now come onto the webcam too.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, and if you can give your 60-second overview, please. Thank you very much.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Matt Edwards. I work from an organisation called Access. And predominantly, we offer our Gamma EPOS solution into a range of visitor attractions. The solution is designed to manage ticketing, admissions, retail, catering, bookings and events, alongside all types of memberships. Gamma is designed to solve operational inefficiencies and give you greater insight to help you to reduce costs, drive sales, and deliver better customer experience. We currently work with over 100 attractions throughout the UK. Our Scottish-based clients include the likes of the Royal Zoological Society of Scotland, Glasgow, Dundee and Aberdeen Science Centre, Blair Castle, Dundee Heritage, and a range of distillers, including the Scots Whisky Experience and the Clydeside Distillery.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you very much. If I can ask you to come off your webcam now, and if I can ask David Levine from Bokun to come on. And
Yep. Hey, Andrew. Good morning.
Hi.
Thanks for having me on the call today. As Andrew said, my name is David Levine, and I am the Director of Business Development at Bokun. I am located in Tampa, Florida, in the United States. I have 20+ years in travel technology business. For those of you that don't know Bokun, Bokun is a software platform which was built to accommodate distribution and operational needs of tour and activity providers all over the world. Currently, Bokun has suppliers in more than 150 countries. We have more than 1,000 customers in the UK, which over 100 are based in Scotland. Bokun was acquired by TripAdvisor in April of 2018. TripAdvisor Association was generated based on a common interest of growing tours and activities within the industry and putting travelers' interests first. Bokun and TripAdvisor both commit to offer the best solution for operators to manage every aspect of their business, and in turn leads to much better travel experience. Thanks again for having me on the call today, Andrew.
Thank you, David. If you can come off your webcam too. Luke Fletcher from DigiTickets, if you could come on and give your 60 seconds. Thanks very much, Luke.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on this call today. So I'm Business Development Manager from DigiTickets. So DigiTickets provide an integrated EPOS and ticketing solution. We work in partnerships with zoos, aquariums, farm parks, museums all over the UK, Scotland and Ireland. Started in 2009 with the one attraction. 10 years on, we now work with around 500 all over the UK. We have 40 members of staff in total. We have a support team that operates 7 days a week. We have a dedicated account management team scattered all over the UK, Scotland and Ireland who will pay regular visits to help out and ensure that you're getting the best out of a ticketing solution possible. Our huge focus is based on customer journey throughout upfront on the website. So we look at transaction speeds, how many clicks the customers are making before ending the transaction. We know that 82% of people we book using a mobile phone, so we make sure that it fits nicely onto any mobile device. Very transparent and honest, and proud of our reputation. We from day one, if we speak with these attractions and we feel that we're not a good fit, would be the first to say. Yeah, that's it from me. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Luke. If you could come off your webcam, and Chris Richards from Harbour, if you could come on. Brilliant. Thanks, Chris.
Hey, Andrew, thanks for having me. As Andrew mentioned, my name's Chris Richards. I'm the Enterprise Sales Manager at Harbour, based out of our Amsterdam office. Harbour was founded in 2013, and we were acquired by Booking.com and have been part of Booking.com family since 2018. We work with 12,000 tour, activity, and attraction providers globally. And have over 600 employees, 200 of which are based here in Amsterdam and focused exclusively on our European expansion. And Harbour overall, our focus is on the client and the customer experience. So we want to provide a system that's going to increase the number of online bookings, increase operational efficiency, and we want this to be easy and fast to set up while still allowing for customization. One of the other nice things is that we do have 24/7 support that is available anytime, any day to help our clients succeed. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Great. Chris, if you can come off your webcam now, and Andy Povey from Gateway Ticketing, if you can jump on. Thanks, Andy.
Hi, Andrew. Thank you. So I'm Andy. I'm the Managing Director of Gateway Ticketing UK. I've been in the attractions industry my entire career. Started driving the train around the park at Chessington World of Adventures down in Surrey, and then moved on to booking systems. So have been customer and now supplier. Gateway is a typically it deals with large tourist attractions. Our largest customer in the UK is actually Historic Environment Scotland, where we work with their top 74 sites. We're just about to launch a brand new product, which is a very simple and easy to access online booking solution, where we should be able to have you up and running in 48 hours with monies going directly into your bank account. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks. Thanks very much, Andy. If you could come off your webcam, and we'll have Galen Hawkins from Palaces. Thanks, Galen.
Hello, good morning. How are you doing? Firstly, Andrew, thank you, and to the industry development team at Visit Scotland. I think it's an important and timely conversation to look at how digital technology can help those in tourism to open safely, attract new visitors, and grow your business in the future. So briefly, who are we and what do we do? I'm Galen. I'm country manager for Scotland for the Palaces Group. We're owner of products like Palaces Ticketing and Tour CMS. So we provide ticketing and reservation solutions for tour operators, activities, and attractions. We offer an industry-leading multi-channel booking solution, managing all sales channels in one system. So that's your website booking engine, on-site sales with point-of-sale hardware, all-in-one mobile ticketing solutions with contactless payment, phone bookings, your local partners, so hotels, maybe tourist agencies, and of course the global distribution network, so connecting you to online travel agents. Work with all type of operators, so day tours, multi-day tour operators, hop on, hop off, boat tour and cruises, walking tours, museums and attractions, We've got a solution for all business sizes, from the one-man show to major operators and attractions. We're a privately held, fully independent company, and we've been growing in the sector since 2007. So thank you, and looking forward to your questions.
Brilliant, thank you. And finally, if you can come off, thanks. Noemi Aurelia from Treksoft, if you could come onto your webcam. Thanks, Noemi.
Thank you, Andrew. Hi, everyone. My name is Noemi. I'm Business Development Manager at Treksoft. Treksoft is an online booking solution for tour activity and attractions. Treksoft was founded 10 years ago in Switzerland by 2 adventure activity providers, and it grew to become one of the major booking solutions with focus in Europe. We are distribution partners for more than 2,000 operators, mostly in Norway, UK, Switzerland, Spain, and Italy. At the moment, we have 4 main offices in Zurich, Barcelona, Minsk, and Ireland. Our focus is to help our partners, tour and activity providers mainly, to develop a profitable mix of sales channel, including direct online travel agencies, B2B, creating a network on the ground as well, while creating efficiency and improving the customer experience. Treksoft is an independent solution. We are part of a group that includes different kind of services, like a channel manager, a standalone, a payment provider, and one of our sister companies is DigiTickets, represented by Luke during this call. So I look forward to brainstorm with you guys, and I hope to offer some good food for thought for all operators in this call.
Thank you. Thanks, Noemi. Okay, I'm going to come off my webcam now, and I'll ask all our panelists to come onto their webcam. Noemi, if you can stay off your webcam just now, and we'll have you on in just a moment. Thank you. So we should have, I'll just come off. Chris, if you can come on as well, Chris from Fair Harbour.
It says it's loading. I don't really know what that means, but we're trying.
Okay. What I'd like to do in the first instance is ask the following question. Matt, I'll start off with you. A question around how we manage visitors once our businesses can reopen, and as we heard, the government has given advice yesterday around the 15th of July as a tentative reopening date. So my question is, how can we give visitors the simplest possible booking experience while ensuring we receive the most appropriate information from them? What are the key elements we need to include? Sorry, on you go.
Yeah, I guess key for me is really making that that booking journey as simple as possible. Obviously, it's making sure that people feel comfortable stepping through that booking process, keeping that as simple as possible, but also obviously trying to make sure that you're capturing enough information from them about what time they're arriving. And we've actually built some functionality around sort of a questionnaire functionality, allowing you to capture information from those bookers that might be specific that you need to know when they come along. But it's really making sure that there is a simple online journey, allowing them to book very simply.
Yeah, keeping it simple, stupid, as the old adage goes, I suppose.
It is, and it's sort of testing that, making sure that you've tested that user journey before you're making it available to your clients.
Yeah, David, I wonder, what do you think would be the range of expected answers that you would have businesses put down in the book during the booking process that they would expect? You know, pre-arrival messaging perhaps to support a better experience, messaging about, or at least expected answers around where visitors are coming from, what protection they might need to wear when they arrive. Yep,
all great points. I mean, one of the main things I think that is important, as you said, is to communicate health and safety measures to customers. I think most systems have the ability to present a customer with a pop-up window when they come to the site, just kind of notifying them up front that, you know, these are the restrictions that are currently in place, and to communicate any of those at the point of entry. One other point that I would add to that is for those attractions and activities that are looking at mobile user experience, it's also important for these customers to have a mobile user experience that's good on all device types, including tablets and mobile device. So I do encourage folks when they're previewing and working with any type of web developers on their website to actually preview these mobile and tablet devices, because that in-destination booking is just as important as those customers shopping on desktop.
I suppose making sure that you're getting the right messages across to customers when they're booking ensures that they're not left disappointed when they arrive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Chris from Fair Harbour.
Yes.
I wonder, we've got you now, that's great. I wonder if you can have a think about how we as booking systems, or how we, as attractions and tours and activity providers can take payments. What are the different possibilities around taking payments, covering admin charges and anything that might be involved in the whole payment process for our tickets that we're selling?
Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties there. In terms of payments, the safest method is always getting those payments online and getting them pre-booked. I think avoiding as much in-person payment and interaction as possible is going to be the safest bet for customers and for employees. So really focusing on trying to get those bookings and those payments in advance, and making sure that that payment gateway is simple and fast, and that process is simple and fast. And then that can also tie into, if you have a lunch add-on that you can add, or different souvenirs that you can add, making sure that all of that payment is at least offered up front so that customers can still get those extras or supplementary things to your activity without having to do that in person, to just avoid those interactions.
Okay. Luke, have you anything to add to that, Luke?
Yeah, it's similar to what Chris has mentioned, really. It's, everyone wants, a prepaid system now. So let's get the customer, the visitor, to spend as much money as possible before they arrive on site. Yes, with upselling garden mats and, additional cuddly toys or whatever it may be. But yeah, similar to what Chris says, making sure that you've got the correct payment gateway, making sure that the payment gateway does pay into the bank straight away, which is important for the attraction as well. But any sort of payment type, making it easy on the customer journey as well, and as simple as possible by step-by-step process.
Yeah, I suppose making sure that your payment processing solution is secure. In fact, making sure that your own website is on HTTPS as well is a really key point. Yeah. How can I wonder if I could come to you, Andy, around how booking systems can help, particularly free attractions, solve ticketing, arrival, or capacity concerns. Would you be able to give some thoughts on that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's all about knowing when people are turning up, and I think consumers are going to expect this. I was on a webinar a couple of weeks ago where we were talking about the first people to come back are probably your most loyal, dedicated supporters, and they may not be people that you deal with normally, and so there aren't going to be many local visitors to Edinburgh attractions in August. Because of the fringe and everybody leaving. Obviously, that's not happening this year, and so it's about finding that new audience. So making it as simple as possible as you can for them, and opening up new sales. It's a new sales channel for you, potentially a new market. So it's less about the diversity of payments that we were talking about 12 months ago. China Union Pay is obviously significantly less important in the market than it was 12 months ago. And making it as easy as you possibly can. If you're a free attraction, then obviously, whatever you're going to do is going to have a cost. So looking at optional donations, suggested donations, those kind of things that people can add, where you're not mandating that you need funds, but you're presenting that message of, hey, we really need your help.
Yeah.
And like I say, these people are the most loyal, invested people in your attraction, so they're going to be quite willing to make that call. There was a study Alva released a couple of weeks ago around perceptions of visitors or potential visitors before they open, and that saw a significant uptick in the number of people who had a sort of altruistic feeling towards attractions, where something like 50% of respondents out of 700 plus confirmed attraction goers were actually expecting and wanted to pay more than normal to come and visit when they first could, recognizing the attractions, and particularly the zoos. They've done a very good job. The zoo industry have done a very good job of publicizing the distress that they're in, financial distress that they're in. So people actually want to give you money and give them the option to do it.
I suppose that sort of altruistic side of things, you know, it takes me on to my next train of thought, which was around how can we, and Galen, if you want to have a think about this one, how can we ensure that we're attracting the correct type of visitor? I suppose those that, you know, are happy to come, are happy to spend their money with us. We can link that, I suppose, to visitor profiles that we might have, or
yeah. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. We got you.
Yeah. Sorry. Well, as Andy said, I mean, I think initially you'll see more local business start to return, and local people will want to support those businesses. So I think look at maybe local people, younger travelers perhaps, and target those markets initially. In terms of attracting the right people, make sure you communicate clearly with customers, reassure them about all of the procedures in place to protect them. Yeah, that's what I would have to say. Yeah,
I suppose our visitor profile might change somewhat as a result of COVID-19. I wonder if Matt, if you could come off just for a second off your webcam, and Noemi, if you could give us your thoughts, what Galen's been talking about visitors that we might expect.
Give me 1 second. I'm still not allowed to jump in.
Yeah, that should be you now. Thank you.
All right, perfect.
So, yeah, what I was mentioned, a visitor profile might change somewhat. Do you think there's a need to, during the booking process, we might, I suppose, have to put checks on contact, in terms of contact tracing? We might have to put checks in terms of postcodes. I spoke to a friend at the weekend who just played golf, and he had, when he turned up at the golf course, he had to give his name and address and the name and address of his playing partner, because they had the golf course had to make sure that they were taking the records, everybody's details, just in case there was an outbreak of COVID-19 that was linked to that particular golf course. So yeah, is there a need, I suppose, to collect contact details, contact tracing? Do we restrict postcodes? Do we require ID for entry to our properties, to our businesses?
Yeah, I totally see the need to collect certain information. Of course, the kind of information will depend from one operator to the other, one attraction to the other, and also from the area and what the local government will expect. The very good part of it is that by asking information already during the checkout process, of course, keeping it as short as possible, we will avoid queues directly on spot when the guests will come. Another very good point is that by using, for example, a smart waiver online sent through before the tour, 1 day before the tour with a pre-trip email, you would get your customer ready to agree to the terms and conditions, and of course also to confirm that they are in a healthy state, for example, and that they read and are aware of all the regulation once on spot. With this data, of course, the very interesting part is that given the market need will change pretty fast in the next month, by collecting this data, each operator will have the ability then to see the changes and react fast in terms of who is your target market, what are they looking for, where are they coming from, and that will help a lot to readapt the strategy.
Yeah. David, do you have any thoughts on this yourself?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we've seen at Boken, we've had numerous suppliers that have kind of come back online selling products for tours and activities. The one thing that I would suggest is looking at the content for what you're offering, and make sure if you're offering a tour or an activity that has some sort of special requirement to actually include that into the description or put that in the product name as well. We've had some tour operators that have actually created social distance versions of the tours that they offer, and that's really to attract those customers that are a little bit hesitant about going out in the world and going on and exploring. They've actually created two versions, just kind of their small group version and their socially distanced version. So keep that in mind, make sure that we're appealing to a broad enough audience of folks that were affected by the COVID.
Thanks, David. David, if I could just ask Wes before I ask the next question, if I could ask you to come off just now and get Matt to come back on, that'd be great. Luke, I wonder if you could expand on that a little bit more, perhaps. The piece of making sure that we're getting the right type of visitor in and keeping them safe during that whole, so that they know they'll be safe when they arrive, during making that message clear.
Absolutely. Because of the new dates that we've been given, and people can open, but they have to have a certain amount of people on site at one time. So instead of having 1,000 people tip up between 11 and 12, which is probably the most popular time, you can have the 1,000 people arrive throughout the day instead of all at once. So you can stagger groups of people from 9 till 5, and then throughout the customer journey we would collect the information about the people anyway, and then we have a report system in the back office where you can pull multiple reports to say, these are the types of people who came, these are our audience, and then throughout the customer journey as well, you would echo the fact that these circumstances are still in place. Do bear in mind that people give thought to others when you're on site. These are the instructions that you have to provide by if you're attending our attraction. So we'll make sure that this message is being said to the audience or the visitor throughout the customer journey to enhance and make sure that people are safe when they do attend.
I suppose that we want to make sure that we're not giving them any scary surprises when they arrive, that they're well informed during the booking process. That they receive.
That's it. So we've got an automatic emailing system. So emails trigger from the moment they book the ticket. So a day before, they could receive an email to say, please bear in mind these restrictions are still in place. So you're giving the customer a lot of notice before they arrive on site, rather than them just tipping up and not knowing what to expect. So you're saying, this is how many people will be on site. We have these cleaning sort of rules that you have to wash your hands so many times. So again, it's just making the customer very aware, and just to reassure them that the attraction has got these safety measures in place for when they do arrive or visit the attraction.
I suppose everybody will be able to, for all of you, businesses are able to add their own terms and conditions to the booking process.
Yes.
They're able to perhaps give information about if there's something in the government guidelines that says you're only allowed to have visitors from within a 50-mile or 100-mile radius, then that can be mentioned in the terms when somebody's booking as well. On that point, though, Galen, I wonder if you could have a think about this. What can we do to ensure that, even though we're maybe adding further terms and conditions and information to our booking process, what can we do to ensure that as many potential visitors complete the booking as possible? How can we avoid losing customers during that booking process?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I think it's important, as the other panelists said, it's important to collect as much information as is necessary. And this may differ depending on the tour. You know, a museum will require different information from, say, a food tour or something like that. So I think it's important to optimize your booking flow with as few clicks as possible. Require only as much information as is needed from the customer, and this might be slightly more information than previously collected. Also, of course, link to government guidelines, maybe your own guidelines and policies. And you could include maybe during the booking process that the customer accepts some terms and conditions based around being COVID secure. And then, of course, collect the information through Google Analytics to track conversion rates and to see if customers are maybe leaving the booking process at a certain time, and then you can adjust the booking system.
Look, if I can just ask you to come off webcam just now for a second, and we'll get David back on.
Sure.
Andy, coming back to you, Andy, in that process of making the booking, making it as simple as possible, as we've discussed, how can businesses use your system to send messages to visitors prior to arrival, such as messages around accessibility, perhaps food options, queuing etiquette, stuff around perhaps the time of arrival that they'll be expected to come and when they'll be expected to leave? Is that all possible through a booking system?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody that's on the panel would say yes, it is. Part of me would actually say, though, is it appropriate to be part of your booking system? Do you need that information beforehand? So if you go back to your potential visitors' experience, these are all things that they're going to want to check before they decide that they're going to come and visit you. So really, to my mind, that needs to be front and center of everything that you're communicating. This is what we're doing. This is how we're looking after you. This is what we're doing to keep you safe. Something else that's really interesting around that is actually do it in your own tone of voice. So there's no good you just reciting governmental instructions, whatever, because we get it all the time. I mean, how many times have we seen a poster telling you how to wash your hands? I don't need an attraction to tell me how to wash my hands. I want a whiskey tour to tell me how to wash my hands in a whiskey way. So it's all part of that experience. So absolutely communicate it in your own tone of voice, and use the booking system to back up those messages that you've already got out there.
Yeah, Chris, funnily mentioning whiskey system, that is one of the, I would say, perhaps suggest is quite a tricky one to reopen, because it involves quite a lot of social contact in terms of being guided around the distillery. There's an element of passing a dram of whiskey to your visitor as well. So, Chris, what can we do if our visitor experience involves getting close to customers? For example, outdoor activity providers who might be helping a customer put on a wetsuit, if it's an outdoor rafting activity or something like that, or a walking tour or a distillery tour. Is there any additional functionality to the solutions that booking systems offer to these kinds of companies? Well, Chris, you're muted. Chris, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I think it stems off of what the other panelists were saying. It's about conveying the right information. So also letting people know as part of the booking process or after the booking process, this this activity requires closer contact with some of our staff. All of our staff are asked on a daily basis if they're feeling healthy. They'll also be wearing the correct PPE, so whether that's a mask and gloves, or vigorous hand washing. But again, just making people feel secure with what they're sort of getting into. So if they need to put on a wetsuit and the government regulations are allowing people to do that activity and get closer to people, especially if it is a stranger, not necessarily a family member or a friend that they're already in contact with, having that be part of that booking process. Or altering the experience a little bit to where you don't have to be in close contact with people. Maybe it's help getting on a wetsuit, so you're teaching people from a distance how to put that on themselves or how to help each other because they're in the same family group or in the same household.
Yeah. I want to on that note then, the visit experience itself, you know, they're from arrival through to the actual experience. Matt, I wonder if you can have a go answering this. When the visitors arrive, how can we ensure that they're safe, and both not just they're safe, but staff or members are safe as well? Is there anything that we can do around ticketing, mobile tickets, QR codes, scanners, queuing etiquette, entering your visitor experience itself, that we can do to make the whole process of arriving and experiencing the attraction or the activity more safe?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's clear that sort of everyone's now going to have to move to sort of time ticketing or time tours. So it's making sure that you've got people arriving at the right time. Obviously, what you don't want to do is, if you've got people booked in for a 12 o'clock slot, is them arriving late or arriving them too early, so that you've perhaps got a queue in the foyer and things like that. So it's making sure that you're clear with people if they've booked onto a specific time slot, what time they need to arrive, is there any etiquette that they need to do when they arrive. But again, obviously there's a lot of talk about making sure that staff and the visitors feel safe, but it's also making sure that it's a good experience for the visitor. It's about remembering your brand identity, and making sure that when they're with you, it's not just you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do the other. You need to make sure that it is an enjoyable day, or they won't come back. So it's about communicating with them and just letting them know what to expect when they arrive.
On the note of staff, actually, just before I do that, look, if you can, sorry, Chris, if you can come off and look and jump back on. David, I wonder if I can ask you, on that note that Matt's just been mentioning around staffing and keeping them safe, how can we use a booking system to manage our staff? What procedures can we put in place through our booking systems to help manage staff?
I mean, I think most systems have some sort of tour and attraction calendar or management system. One of the things we would suggest is when we're assigning a guide to a tour or a resource to a tour, that we stagger these work shifts and schedules. We allow a cool down period in between the end of one tour and the beginning of another tour. We need to make sure that we're setting up guidelines where the staff is abiding by hygiene and safety measures. Again, referring back to these tour companies and attractions that have reopened, we've seen a big focus on kind of the touchless experience, whether it's ticketing via a mobile app instead of paper tickets, or for tours that have audio guides. Those audio guides would be available on your app, on your phone, so that you don't have to have any interaction with staff in order to get hooked up with that audio guide. So there's been a real focus on kind of minimizing the touch points with the customer as possible, and kind of letting them do their own thing and utilizing their phones to optimize the experience while they're on site.
Excellent. Noemi, I've got a question for you. I'll come to you in just a moment. Before I do that, I'm just going to run a quick poll of our attendees. And the question I'm going to ask you all is, does your business currently have an online availability and booking system in place? And it's a simple yes or no response for that. We've actually been doing a little bit of research at Visit Scotland around online booking system usage for attractions, tours and activity providers in Scotland, and we found that around about probably 20 to 30% we would estimate of attractions, tours and online and activity providers have an online booking system. But of today's attendees, it's approximately 65% of you have some form of online booking system, maybe 60%, it's just dropped down to 60%, and 40% don't have an online booking system. So thanks all for responding to that. Noemi, I come to you with a question around the visit experience itself. What measures can we take to ensure that visitors receive the best possible experience, as well as reassuring them regarding their safety? For example, you might have QR codes for exhibits. You might have a VIP experience whereby you can increase the ticket costs, or just ways that we can ensure that visitors stick to the rules and guidelines around physical distancing, but give them a great time.
Yeah, I agree with what Andy said before. The guests book with you because they want to have a great experience. They don't want to worry all the time about the safety rules. However, it's important to keep consistency and to communicate with consistency from, of course, the pre-arrival until the end of the tour. Of course, the keyword is contactless. Of course, a contactless payment, as we said before, and for the entrance, of course, e-tickets are very important. Most booking solutions have the possibility to scan directly QR codes that are generated by the systems, so that there will be no paper ticket to be handed over at the attraction. And of course, in certain cases, especially for tour and activity providers, it's possible to offer private tour upgrades, VIP experiences, so that the customer will just be in a small group and they won't have to worry to be close to other people they don't know. So yeah, the most important thing is to communicate with clarity, so that when the customer comes on spot, they already have all the information they need and they can enjoy their experience.
Galen, do you have any thoughts about how, once visitors have been and they've enjoyed the experiences, as Noemi said, how do we manage their exit from our attraction or our activity or whatever it is that the visitor is doing? How do we manage that? And how do we use our booking systems to manage that? Is there any functionality we can offer?
Well, I think, again, the key is communication, and communicating with the customer before they arrive on expectations afterwards. So using time slots, using departure times, and allowing time between those slots for any necessary cleaning, for example. Yeah, that's. I would also say, I mean, make an assessment of your attraction or your tour. If you can use a different entryway to an exit way, keep a one-way flow, examine bottlenecks, just to make sure that you've thought ahead about the customer journey through your tour or attraction.
I suppose one thing that we don't want to happen is visitors booking and then not showing up or cancelling at the very last minute. Andy, what options do we have if we need to cancel, or if visitors don't show up? Andy?
Sorry, technical problems at this end. In terms of the message you give to your customers, I think you need to make sure that you're very upfront about allowing them to cancel and rebook, just so that they're aware that they're confident to be able to visit.
You wouldn't suggest anything around the lines of maybe an admin fee being charged if they don't turn up and don't give any reason for not turning up? Is that something that's feasible, or would you say that's ill-advised at the moment? Are we having technical problems, Andy?
I am, yeah. I've got another WebEx going off in the background. It's technical, it's feasible. The question is whether it's appropriate. This is your brand. These are your most loyal visitors. How are they going to feel when they're taking a punt on being able to come? They're not sure that they're going to be able to because of their personal situation or their environmental situation.
Yeah.
And if we're just going to then penalise them by holding on to a couple of pounds, what's the impact of that on your brand? So yes, it's possible. I'm not sure personally that it's advisable.
Okay, thank you for that. I think that's a very fair assessment. Andy, I know you need to head off just now, so if you want to, thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it. If you want to jump off, yeah, thank you so much. If you want to jump,
good luck with reopening, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. If you want to jump off your webcam, and that means that Chris, you can come back on. Brilliant, thank you. Now, I suppose one question I'd like to ask Chris is, once we move further down the line with reopening, How can we grow visitor numbers as lockdown restrictions are lessened over time? How can we increase our distribution? I think that's probably a good question for the likes of Fair Harbour.
Yeah, so I think as restrictions start to open up, especially once airline travel becomes more popular to Scotland and more prevalent, the biggest thing is making sure that you are contacting and promoting your tours and your activities and your attractions to the customers that you were likely promoting to prior to COVID. So whether that was via direct AdWords or direct marketing on your website, or working with the likes of TripAdvisor Experiences or Reserve with Google, giving people the way to ultimately find you from different channels, but most importantly, focusing on that direct channel. So maybe increasing ad spend to a country that is now able to travel to Scotland, especially since most likely the travel restrictions will lift per country. That gives you a better idea of saying, okay, visitors from Spain are now able to focus on or travel to Scotland, specifically focusing on Spanish visitors and ad spend in that area to really target to those customers so that they can find you.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to move on to audience questions. Finally, thank you all for your help so far. I'd like to move on to some audience questions. Before I do that, I'll just run another quick poll. And the next and second and last poll is, are you looking to set up a new online availability and booking system or enhance your existing system? I'll just launch that poll just now. Fantastic. So I think the numbers there speak for themselves. I have around about 80% who are looking for a new system, either looking for a new system or are looking to enhance their existing system. So I'm sure that's food for thought for all of the guys on the call today. I'll jump to audience questions now. There are quite a few audience questions have come in today. I'll just open up my So I have a question here, and I wonder, Noemi, if you could answer this one. It's around free attractions. It's actually from Gordon Morrison, who's the CEO of ASVA, Association of Scottish Visitor Attractions, and he says ASVA has approximately 500 attractions in membership. I've been having conversations with many of them over the last few weeks about getting ready for the new normal. A number of free attractions or attractions that have never had to undertake online booking before. Many are very new to online booking, and as a result, and especially now, don't have much indeed any money to spend. What should these businesses be doing as first priority?
Yeah, I think that in general, as every other attraction, paid attraction, free attraction will need a system to be able to manage the capacity, the time slot, and all their customer information. So I would suggest you to have a look around and pick a system. I'm sure there are options out there that will not charge for free bookings online. That's what, for example, TrackSoft decided for this project in VisitScotland. Free attractions, free tour and activities will not be charged because, of course, there will be no payment gateway and no cost that will be added to the booking at on the website. So I would really suggest you to use the tool, not to collect payment, of course, but to manage your communication with the customer and, of course, your capacity and availability.
Yeah, David, I wonder if you could give an overview maybe from your perspective as to how you might charge businesses for issuing free tickets, or how that whole payment side of things might work.
Yeah, I mean, conceptually, it's the same as Naomi mentioned. Boken's cost structure is based on a percentage of revenue for online sales. And if they're free attractions, there is not really a significant costs as far as processing payment or any type of maintenance for that. So we do have several free attractions that work on Boken, and exactly what Naomi said, same concept.
Okay. Is there another question specifically around a distillery? Matt, I wonder if you can answer this one. Can your booking system work out how people are traveling together? For example, if 4 people are traveling together and coming to a distillery, we would only need to put in place the 2 meters distancing between the guide and the group for that distillery. However, if those 4 people were traveling individually, 2 meters would be needed from each other, with the second scenario not being possible around an old or small distillery. How can the booking system identify the maximum capacity of, for example, 6 spaces if they're coming from a maximum of 2 groups, depending on how the travel is taking place?
Yeah, as sort of touched on, we've done some work for one of our clients, Chester Zoo, around the ability to have a questionnaire as part of that booking process. So as part of the booking process, you could ask some very simple questions around, will you all be traveling together? And based on the answers, it will step the person through a different process through that booking journey. So again, depending on how they answer, if they're all coming together, it's obviously going to allow you to have more flexibility on how many people can come into that time slot. So we would propose to use our questionnaire functionality to capture that information, so that you do know how many people could come on a specific time slot.
Look, somebody else has asked a question around suggestions for timed ticketing systems. So that would mean that perhaps you'd have visitors turning up for an hour, and then you'd have a gap of something like a gap of an hour where the attraction or your experience could be cleaned. Can you give any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so yeah, we can do exactly that. So let's say you can have hour sessions throughout the day, but let's say have a 15-minute slot, which gives the the distillery chance to clean up. But that's no issue at all, and you just stagger the times out throughout the day.
Grand. Chris, in terms of venues that would receive a high volume of customers, how can they maintain a 2 meter social distancing for staff when tickets for every customer would have to be checked on arrival?
Yeah, so I think one thing with high volume is really trying to spread that volume out, especially across times that aren't as popular. So if you are a paid attraction, maybe giving a discount for early mornings or weekdays. If you're a free attraction, there's potentially other ways that you can try to get people to book those early morning slots or weekday slots. Maybe it's advertising that the capacity will be lower, so people that are traveling are a bit more wary to travel but are still thinking about it feel more comfortable coming on a Tuesday at 11 a.m. because they know that the capacity is going to be lower and it's quote unquote a safer time to come visit. And then once they do arrive, having that ticketless scanning or mobile ticket scanning option be very quick and easy to use, so that your that check-in process takes a few seconds per person rather than a few minutes. So just making sure that your operation is a bit more streamlined from the booking process to the check-in process, and really thinking about how maybe we add dots on the floor to ensure that it's 1.5 meter distance so people can visualize it, adding arrows through your attraction so that there's a constant correct flow of traffic. So just thinking about different operationally things like that.
Yeah. Galen, another question. What would you say about possibilities for activity providers that want to customize the activity and the experience for their guests, for their visitors?
Yeah, well, one important thing is a lot of tour operators will be looking more towards private groups. So where you can capture private groups, obviously those group numbers might be larger. So we have a functionality, for example, whereby you might have timed slots, and once a group with a minimum number books on that slot, it closes out for that private group, so that you can pivot, make the places available to the public, and then close that out to make it a private booking.
Grand. Noemi, when visitors are arriving at another question here, when visitors are arriving at their attraction or activity or their tour, what can we do to eliminate touch points? Can booking systems deliver digital guides or portals, web portals to deliver digital guides, or is it best to have attraction maps information digitally via a QR download or augmented reality, something along those lines? Somebody's asked that question.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think in general, of course, apart from the ticketing, there should be contactless. It's important if audio guides are needed to send to the customer the link to be able to access these audio guides without having to queue and collect for the real audio guides. Same thing if we upsell our customers and we offer them a VR reality or a booklet. It's important if it's possible, to send it in advance to them so that they won't have to get it at the attraction. That will speed up, of course, the process of checking in and entering and starting their experience.
And one final question, I suppose, David, I'll ask you this one. With more local visitors coming, how do we manage those visitors who just turn up when perhaps our particular business isn't able to cope at the moment with those visitors that just turn up and expect to be able to purchase or walk into our venue or attraction or activity on the day?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly a frustrating experience for those customers that are accustomed to doing that. One of the things that I would suggest from a marketing standpoint and a customer experience standpoint is, potentially just, explain, the rules and refer to the government regulations, but also potentially offer them some type of promo code or some type of offer for them to come and with a link to your website. So, hey, just letting them know that all guests must book prior to arrival on our website, but here's a discount code for you to book. So just acknowledging the fact that the government has placed these regulations for safety of everyone and referring them to the website to book in the future.
Yeah, and I suppose making sure you get your message across in social media channels as well, and on Google My Business, the usual portals where you'd expect people to find out about you. Okay, that's now just after 12 noon. I want to thank all of my panelists today, to Matt, to David, to Luke, Chris, Andy, who's had to leave, Galen and Noemi. Thank you all. I hope all of you as attendees have found our discussion beneficial, and I hope all of you will be spurred on to start enabling your visitors to book online. I think it's something that's become a necessity. At the end of, as I close this webinar, you'll be asked a short survey, and that's if you'd like contact from a Visit Scotland member of staff to discuss online bookings, and I'd ask you to respond accordingly to that. We have another few sessions that are taking place over the next few weeks, and those will be sent out to you. The details of those sessions will be sent out to you by email after today's event. There's a session on, as I mentioned earlier on, expanding your digital capability, and there's a session on next Tuesday at 11 o'clock for marketing to the domestic market. So it just remains for me to say thank you to you all for listening today. Thanks to all of my guest panelists. Thank you. It feels very like University Challenge. And we'll see you all again soon. And I wish you all the very best, as Andy said earlier on. We wish you all the very best with reopening. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Good luck. Bye.